Hi everyone and welcome to the Mighty Ginkgo tutorials. My name is Zero and I'll be your instructor for this lesson. Alright, so normally scripting is something that I really try to avoid, but to say I want to go through Second Life without using scripts is kind of impossible, because as a creator you're totally going to need scripts for pretty much everything. This scripting system is shockingly free, which is sorry, I like it because it's free. And it's so hard to find good quality free items in Second Life to help you build. A texture changing HUD or color HUD can run you from anywhere from 500L all the way up to 10K in some instances. So it was nice that the creator of the system decided to make pretty much the same HUD free for us to use. So I think that'll help out with people trying to create when they need the scripts. It's really user friendly. It's just pro explained, which makes it not very understandable. I heard in the chat when we were talking about it during the live that the creator even apologized for the way that they explained it, and apologized again for making people's heads explode, mine's included, if you saw the live. So after taking a break, 4 Advils and some udon noodles, we finally figured out how to get the system to work, and I'm going to explain it to you so that you don't fall into those pitfalls that I fell into when I was trying to understand the system. Alright, so let's begin our tutorial and tell you how it's going to go on. Sorry, it's actually like 5 o'clock in the morning now. I was up all night trying to figure this out. Alright. So what happens then? Oh, okay. So what we need to do is break it down into parts. This system comes in two main functions. Well, 3 technically. One is a color change HUD, which allows you to go through the RGB and choose what color you want for your item. The other is a texture HUD, which allows you to apply textures to various parts of your item. And also there's an alpha HUD that allows you to click your alphas on and off, which is integrated into both systems, I believe, both the color and the texture HUD. One of the things I need to say about the mesh HUD, the texture HUD, is that it doesn't support prims or sculpties. You have to have mesh with the texture HUD. So if you are like me and you create, like, let's say a hair, and you put the small box inside of it, it's going to reject it, and it's going to say it needs to all be mesh. So in my case, I needed to make a small mesh box so I can put my logo and stuff on the inside of my hair when people are using it, and use that as the mother prim for the script. So which, you can do anywhere if you want to. Or you can just make a brain. I remember somebody doing it. Anyway, that aside, we're going to start the tutorial finally. And we're going to start from simple to complex, which I believe is the color changing HUD first. And then we're going to ease into the texture changing one, because that's a little more complex than the color changing one. Plus, I think you're supposed to do that in that order anyway. At least that's how it was on the website. So with that said, we can now begin our tutorial. I think all the disclaimers are done. Let's dive in. So the first thing we're going to need is a target to change the colors with. So, something for the HUD to react to. And I'm going to use regular prim boxes. The color changing HUD supports prims as well as mesh, so we can use the prim boxes for that during this example. So I'm going to make 4 boxes. One box is going to be the root prim, which I also sometimes call mother prim. So if you hear me say put it in the mother prim, I'm talking about the root prim, because when I started learning building, they just called it the mother and then a child. Then later on it's got to the root and then children, so whichever. So this is going to be our mama box, and we're going to hold down shift and make another one. This is going to be our alpha, beta, and gamma. Now make sure that you select your root prim or your mama box last, because that's how, Second Life dictates which one is the root prim. So first, second, third, and then that one's last. And you push link, and you'll see the root prim will glow yellow while the children will glow blue. Okay, so now we have that, and to make our color stand out even more, I'm going to put on a nice blank texture so it's nice and white, and we'll be able to get that going. So now we have that. It's time to dive into the scripts. So I'm going to, while still in build mode, select edit linked, and we're going to select the root prim, and we're going to go to content, and we're going to keep this window open because we're going to drag the scripts into it. Now, inside of the kit, you'll see a number of items that you can use for this. And where is it? Here we go. And when you are working on it for the first time, the tutorial tells you to drag out the sample multicolor object to use to test on to see how it looks. I really didn't want to use it because it's kind of creepy to me. So I'm going to also make that one blank, just so it can stop freaking me out. There we go. That's a lot better. So you see we have a multicolor object here. I'm going to put that there just so you can see more examples of it working. Now, to know which script to use, you're going to right click on the demo object and look inside and see what script to use. And it's the color slave. I'm sure that's AH, but it's better to say color slave. I have no idea who the hell that is. Alright, anyway, so I'm going to click on, get out of here. So I'm going to click on the root prim. I'm going to look for our color slave. It's right there. And we're going to put this in. It's fine, it's fine. Ignore the error that's going to come up. Also, do not take the script from inside the sample because it's locked and it won't work for you. So you can press all the buttons in the world, put it into your objects and put all the buttons in the world, but it's not going to work. So that's why we had to get one fresh from the samples thingy. Okay, so now that we have the color slave in here, we're going to define our names. But before that, I should show you the HUD. So let's see. Multicolor object HUD. Oh, no. That's the thing again. Alright, so I think it's this one. Yeah, this is a lot easier to use than the other one. Only because it has a clear message. So I'll make it big so we can see it. Okay, so this is our sample HUD. Now, as you see on the sample HUD, there's a bunch of colors and symbols. Each symbol means one of the boxes. This is gamma, this is beta, and this is alpha. And as you see, the buttons that are programmed to go to those color channels change color whenever we move this around. Now we need to do a few things so we can achieve the same effect on our blank boxes over here. So let me scoot this over. Alright. So the first thing we need to do is assign the box a name so that they can react to the buttons. To do that, we need to see what the buttons are called. This button is called gamma. So we're going to copy the name, and inside the description, we're going to put gamma. Well, we're going to click on it, right click, and then hit edit, and then edit link parts. And then in the description, we're going to paste gamma. And then the next one, next button, beta. Beta. And next to that one is alpha. Then we paste alpha in. So now when we press the alpha button, you see it turns red, as well as it does on the multicolored one over yonder. So see, beta is blue, gamma is red, is purple. Now our mother box is blank, because if you were making a mesh or something like that, this will have your product name, and you would deal with that. So this is going to be where you name your product. Alright, so that's the basic of making it change. Now what if you had an object inside of a link set like this? When you link a bunch of objects together, it's called a link set. Swanky, fancy, Second Life lingo, so you can sound smarter when you explain it to people. Okay, so inside this link set, let's say that you, which cute? This blue one, that stands out to me. Alright, so let's click this blue one and move it up. Alright, now let's say you only wanted certain faces on your object to change color, and you wanted, and you didn't want to, like, what's the word? Break them up into multiple parts. You wanted to keep it so that, like, let's say this face turns blue when you press a button, and this face turns yellow, and that face turns something else. You can do that with the script. You just have to change what we put in the description. So let's go take a look at our description. At the moment, it's linked to beta, and we're telling it everything that is named beta, we want you to just change the whole thing. But in this case, we want to change the faces, so we would have to tell it when beta is pressed, change face. This is face 1, and that's face 0. So let's see, 1, 0, and 2. Okay, so when the button is pressed, we want the 1 face, the 0 face, and the 2 face to change color, and everything else stays on something else. So let's see. So we have beta, and we're going to put next to that, I'm not sure what those 2 dots are called. What's the punctuation name for the 2 dots?
Colon?
That's what it is? Okay, so colon, and it's going to be 0. No, you don't space. So it's beta, 0, 1, and 2. And then we're going to put a comma in here. And let's get creative. Let's say alpha on 4, 3, and 5. So alpha on colon 4, 3, 5. Alright. So let's see what happens when we press the alpha. See, 4, 3, and 5 have all turned blue. I mean purple. It's so late. And I guess it's beta. We're going to turn that red. So now we have this here. So what we marked for red turned red, and what we want for alpha turned purple. So isn't that easy to do? Alright, so you can pretty much play around with those and then get the effect that you want on your item. Also, they put in a nice alpha HUD, so if you wanted to take something off, you can just press the alpha button and it will alpha. Well, everything that is beta will alpha out, and everything that's alpha will alpha if you choose to. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Now we get into the complex stuff, and that is mesh, textures. Alright, so we're going to dive into textures now. What happens with textures? We need to find a mesh item because, like I said, you can't use prims with the texture HUD. So I'm going to look in my inventory and see if I got any hair. Alright, so I have some hair for my Lynn. And I'm going to remove the scripts that's already inside this. Scripts. Remove scripts. Okay. We're going to do this. Move forward. And like I said, you need 3. I'm going to unlink it because there's a prim inside this link set. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. 1 hair, 2 hairs, and the mother. We could do the same thing with 3, but 2 is fine for this. So let me get rid of these so we're not confusing anything. And then we're going to blank out the texture. There we go. So now we have our mesh link set ready to be texturized. Alright, so like before, we are going to go into our sample HUD for textures. So texture alpha HUD sample. Any minute now. I hate when that happens. Alright, so we have this. And just like before, we're going to make this big so you guys can see it. Scoot it over here. Scoot it back there. Alright, there we go. So now we need to take the scripts and put them inside here. Our head, our hair. And we're going to put in the same texture we had before, the color slave. So grab your color slave and slap it into your hair's mother frame. Now again, it's going to give you the same error like we had before, but don't worry about it, we'll fix it. So we're going to go into our other hair, this one, and we do the same thing. Change the description, and we're going to name it alpha. Select it again. And we're going to, description on this one is going to be our beta. Cool. And this is just our root hair, so it'll probably be a box on yours or something, but I just needed 3 meshes. Okay. So now we have that done, what's next? Like before, we have to remove the sample script out of this so that it works. So we're going to hit edit, go into content. We're going to get the texture master and delete it, and then put a fresh texture master inside of it. Now the texture master is the complex brain of this all, and it will tell you when things are broken and what's wrong, and then you have to correct them in order to do it. This is called the security check. This system has a number of security checks to make sure that you are putting the product out there properly and that everything is nice and secure. It was made so that it can protect the textures and people from losing their textures and all the rest of that jazz. So it has a lot of security to make sure that you are safe. And I'm going to show you how to get through those security checks so you're not struggling like I did when I first ran through it. So now that we have our fresh master in here, you're just going to double click on it. And we're going to be prompted with the script. So don't be afraid. It may look complex, but it's actually not. Now, mine is set up to have, what is it called? I have something checked in here that makes it easier to view like this. I just got to remember where it is. Okay, so we're going to press this. Oh, I don't have that on. Oh. Okay, never mind. Script's done. I remember I had to have LSL processor on the other one, but that's not required for this script. So it's going to look like this when you open it. That's nice. Okay, so here are the main security checks for this script to work. And it's called the passphrase. Now the passphrase is like your security key. It's going to prevent from this. It prevents people from using listeners and other kinds of scripts to get your channel and things like that in order to swipe your textures. but you know, what a good place, whatever. So you can, whatever, you can put any number you want in here. They recommend that it's a nice long number. I'm just gonna keep it simple and just use a string of tens. So 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So 4 tens is my password. You can also change the channel to which your scripts will talk to each other on. By default, it's this number right here, but you know, you don't have to change that if you don't want to. You can. For the sake of this, we're not going to change it because we're going to keep this as simple as possible. It's already running about 20 minutes. Okay, so we're going to leave that alone, and we're just going to hit save. You're also going to want to make a note of the string thing, password here, because you're going to have to enter it again. So highlight it and then press Control C and copy it, then paste it in your chat so that you have it nearby. Alright, so once we have this, that's really all you have to touch. You don't have to touch anything else. So just hit save and then close it. And now, while we're still inside of this window, we're going to need to right click on the texture master and then go to properties and then turn off the transfer permission. No, not transfer, the modify permission. You cannot have this script inside your product with modified enabled. The security steps will check in and it will shut down and disable your script, making it so that it doesn't run. You want to turn the modify off because there's no point in having a security thing if somebody can look inside the script and write down the security and copy the script. So that's why they say no modify. So you want to make sure that modify is not checked, and then you want to close it. So once that's done, we're going to take a copy of it, or just take it so to make sure you're not resing the same thing. Go to my recents, and then we're going to res it. Is that the right one? Yes, I think so. Why the hell is there no transfer? Hang on, wait, let me try it again. I think I broke it. Let me see. No, this is the right one. Okay, well, that's it. Don't know why it's no transfer though. I'm sure I did something dumb. Hang on, let me go res a good one again. It's not a zero tutorial if it ain't messing up, now is it? Shut up, baby! You supposed to laugh back there. Some like Levin support and ish.
You can do it, baby.
I don't need your false support.
I believe in you.
Oh my god, shut up. Yo, like, like, no, we remove this, delete that. Then you go into the scripty thingies and put in face number. Oh, just so you know, there is a text version of this class already done. That's a whole lot easier than trying to do what I'm doing. Alright, so passphrase is 4 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And then we hit save. We wait for it to go. Alright, so it tells you next owner must be no modify. So we right click on this and then do properties and then turn off modify. Great. Then we close it. And I want to scripts, reset the scripts. Alright, so yeah, now it's up and running and it's ready to accept textures. So what we need to do next is right click. Wait, there is a step we're missing. Before they try to seduce you into putting the textures in, we have to go back to our hair. And we need to double click on the color slave. And we need to wait for it to load. Aha, see? All of this stuff look familiar to you? So, this texture is listening for the passcode so that it can work. So you'll have to enter the same passcode that you put in there. For me, it's 10, 10, 10 tens across the board. And then underneath it, you have your key creator, which is your personal UUID. You can see your UUID by right-clicking on yourself and going to your profile, and then you'll have your key. No, that's not it. Oh, this is it. Your key, and you just copy your key, paste it inside the parentheses here, and quotations, and that's pretty much it. So you can ignore all of that stuff again, and then hit save. Wait for it to load. Alright. And then next we're going to do the same thing like we did in the other one. So we're going to edit, right click, properties, and then turn off modify again. And then we just reset the scripts so that it can reactivate. So reset scripts. Okay. So now it's ready. Now we can go to the fun part and add in textures to it. Now this is a wonderful system. It's a no UUID system, so you don't have to get stuck with trying to put the UUIDs in a note card or in the script or anything. It does it for you automatically. So what we need to do is first load in all of the textures that we want to go inside the HUD. Now this script system only uses full perm textures. So if you have bought a texture or somebody sent you one that's mod, copy, no trans, it's not going to work. Or copy, trans, not going to work. Copy, not going to work. It has to be mod, copy, and trans in order to work inside of this HUD system. I guess that's that way of making sure that you're only using textures you're supposed to use and nothing shady, so they cover their own butt. So smart on their end. The textures that are here, like they were nice enough to give us a bunch of textures to use. So we're going to just go into the folder that says like sample textures or something. Sample textures. And I'm just going to loud much. Alright. And I'm just going to Alright, so I'm just going to copy all the textures here, and I'm just going to drag them into the content section of the HUD, the texture HUD. And you're just going to wait for them all to go in. Okay. Now once they're in, they're in. Now comes your artistic mode. You're going to zoom in to the channel that you want. So you see it's already listed here, alpha, beta, gamma. And we're just going to zoom in, edit link parts. And then we're going to click on the box that we want, and then go to texture, and you're going to add the texture to the box that's here that you want to put the texture there. So I think this is glossy white. Yeah, glossy frost. Oh, okay. So what I would do is, let's just put something here real quick. Okay, so now we want to put, let's pretend we want to put glossy frost here. We would just grab the glossy frost texture, put it on the box, and let the texture change. And then we would go to our general section, and then we would just input this like we did with the color HUD, where we have the channel we want it to affect first, and then the name of the texture afterwards. So we want this to go on the alpha channel. We would type alpha and then glossy frost. Now if the texture is called glossy frost with a capital G and a capital 8F right here, you're going to have to input it just like it is, like the file name. If you put in glossy frost, like with lowercase letters, it's going to say that texture is not found. So you want to make sure that it matches the file name perfectly, like glossy frost, like the texture is. Or you could just hit rename, which I don't have on here. It's so silly. Alright, so once you do that, you press the button. Oh, and you get an error. Oh no. I received an... Oh, wait. I think that's the old one. Let's get out of here, you. Shoo. Alright, now let's see. Let's let that go away. Okay. So now you see that it's working. The textures are going. And on the beta one, it's also applying. And you have all your textures going. So you don't have to input any UUIDs. Just drag it in there. Tell it what channel you want. And then the texture name. And then it automatically does it for you. Now, once you put all the boxes and all the textures in here that you want, you just have to finalize the product, and the script will take care of the rest. So what we want to do is type in, I think it's 74 finish. Let's see, 74/74 finalize. So in your main chat, your local chat, type /74 finalize and hit enter. And then the script will start cleaning it out, removing all the textures for you, and then deleting it. So everything should be fine. Okay, so once it's done, you just click edit and look into your content. And if all the textures are gone, then the script is finished cleaning up. The textures may be gone, but the effect it has is still there. You see, we can still do black and red and pink and whatever you want, and everything was fine. So all that's left is for you to right click and then hit take back into your inventory, and now you can box this up and go. Although I'm not 100% sure why this is like non-transfer. I guess it's because of the HUD. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess you would have to make your own HUD. That's why they gave you all those resources in order to make it work. They made it the HUD no transfer, so can't put their name out there, I guess. But when you make your HUD, it should be fine. So all that's left to do is box it up and go and put it on the marketplace. Whew. Well, that's it. That wasn't too hard, was it? It's a lot simpler now than when it was a few hours ago. And I'm so sorry that it was so skippy, if you will. If it's still too much, then I'll redo the tutorial, and we can try it again when I'm more awake and it's not 6 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, I'm just wanted to get this out, or else I'll be dreaming about it like, oh, the scripts! Alright, so I guess that's it. The end of the tutorial. If you have any questions, ask in the comments or our Discord, and I'll try to help you. If not me, then somebody with a brain will try to help you, and we'll get it done. I hate ended tutorials. I never know how to. Alright. It's been 3 years and I still don't know how to end a tutorial. I think I ended the tutorial properly in one video. One. Out of all these videos, out of 200 and some odd videos on my channel, only one of them has been ended properly. Alright, let me try to copy somebody. Okay, and that's it. And that's it for our tutorial. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I can't wait to do the next one. Don't forget to hit that button and subscribe, because we love subscriptions. And like always, have fun and good luck with your tutorials. This has been Zero, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!